Hey, what is up YouTube? Today we're playing Uboat once again. So in the last video I went over a couple of basic tips on how to get started, but one thing I forgot to mention were a couple of in-depth things about what to do inside of your sub when you start out, as well as we really didn't get any combat. So in this video I thought that we'd see if we can maybe explain some of those tips about what you can do inside the sub, but also see if we can get some combat here. So without further ado, here we go. I started a new game here. So what we'll first do is we'll get a mission here. Let's see what we got. So we got 2 missions. Let's go for the medium mission here, and we'll see if we can find some ships. It also looks like I saw there's a battleship in that area, so we'll see if we can get them. And then let's see if we can get some extra crew members here. So we'll add 2. There we go, we got 18. Let's go to the warehouse and get the goods that we need. So we need extra food. Let's grab some sausages. Okay, so sausages. And we'll get some fuel here. And we'll just get some T1s to fill it up here. So don't really have to worry about buying some extra helmets or anything. In this tutorial I just want to make it as basic as possible, just getting the basic goods, and we'll see if we can really focus on that combat. So let's go ahead and wait here. And it is nighttime, so let's go ahead and plot our course here to this sector. Alright. So to do that, same as before, we'll just shift right click here. We'll go ahead and we'll have our main captain be on the sights there to give us a little bit of sight. Let's go ahead and unpause the game and speed it up. There we go. Now we have a little bit of sight. Let's go ahead and we'll shift right click out of port here like so, and avoid the zigzag lines. And we will go all the way over here to our sector. Let's unpause and let's go to speed 3. Alright, and off we go. So we'll plot this course, we'll go out here, we'll see if we can pick up any enemy ships along our way. Make sure to assign sailors to the people that need help here. It looks like our co-captain is salvaging some parts. Once he's finished, he should move over to the navigation table and begin plotting the course. Our other engineer is working on warming up the torpedoes, which is good. Alright, so one of the tips that I forgot to mention in the last video was making sure that your people have a wide variety of food, and also to ensure that your people have food in the galley. So the galley is where the sailors will go to get their food. In order to open that up, all you gotta do is just click on the galley to open up the storage, and you can see there's food in here. As time goes on, this food will deplete, and so it's very recommended to just put food into it as it's going down to ensure the sailors have something to eat. And the more variety of food that's in here, the happier they'll be. So we can add some bacon here. We'll add 20 units of that, and then we can take 20 units of the potatoes out here. So we have 40 left, and then we can drag in the sausages. We'll put in 20 of the sausages, like so. And then you can see we still have some more room in the galley, so we can put maybe 10 of the bacon. We'll see if that fits, and then we can put the rest in sausages. And there we go. So now we're full there, and we have a variety of food. This right here will increase our discipline. It is very important to make sure the discipline is at 100%. If it falls way too low, we'll have a riot on our hands. Some of the crew members may start to freak out, which we'll have to subdue with our captain. So hopefully in this tutorial we won't reach that point. But it may happen if you're in a very specific combat instance where there's a whole bunch of destroyers above you and they're dropping depth charges and you're all the way at the bottom, well, you're at the maximum safe depth and your people start to freak out. So we do not want that to happen. And these are just little ways of preventing it. And of course, when we're in the open ocean, we can go ahead and put on the time here to the maximum fastest time to go a lot faster than normal. Also making sure to assign sailors to the navigation post. This will help with the fuel. As you can see, with additional sailors on navigation, it helps not take as much fuel by 20%, as well as the additional sailors on the engines here take less fuel to about 30%. Alright, so we were approaching our area here, but we haven't even reached it yet, and we're already getting some action here. So it looks like we got chimney smoke right there. It's a tiny group, 2 to 4. There's probably some freighters here. Let's go ahead and send this report back to the command here, and we will see if we can go to periscope depth, and we will have our other officer here, our co-officer, instead of being on the navigator station, we'll put him on the radio. And so to do that, we'll put our radioman on the hydrophone. We'll go to periscope. That'll allow us to see even further. We'll be able to see these ships, and we'll see if we can take them on here. If you right click, it'll set an interception course to go this way. We'll see which direction they're going, and then we'll see if we can intercept them and sink a couple of freighters for some points. But we'll have our co-commander on the radio so that we can send this report here. We'll click on it, and it'll send the report. Okay, you can see that time right now, since we're going down to periscope depth. We don't have anybody on the periscope. Our commander just got on the periscope, so now that we have a sight. And then also our radioman's getting on the hydrophone here. You can see if you go to the end, he's walking over, and now he's listening in. This will start to show right here, and it will extend our sight. Just like so. Can make it go just a little bit faster. And there we go. Now we got our hydrophone on. We can also increase the speed here if we notice that they're going a little bit faster than expected. And we know that they're going this way, so let's see if maybe we can intercept them just like that. We'll move a little bit closer. Okay, and you notice when you get close to enemies, it'll say entering an area of wherever you're near. Oh, so they're over here actually. And then as you get closer, it gets more and more specific until you can actually hear them. Your radioman may be off by a couple of kilometers, just all depends, or a couple of meters. So cool. It looks like we detected a freighter here. Let's move within sight range of this freighter. Alright, and before we move over there, let's go ahead and have our other engineer warm up the targeting tubes here. In order to get to this menu, it's like a fast menu to have your people do specific things. You can also make them go to certain places if you click on them. And let's say you want our radioman to go over to the radio, you can right click on the radio and have him do specific things. Or you can right click on the hydrophone and have him do that. But we have him listening in on that. Or you could hit tab and then have your people do things. So for example, right now we would want our engineers to begin warming up the tubes. In order to do that, we'll hold down tab, and then we will click on warming up here, and we will click on these tubes here to warm up the tubes. Since we're probably going to use our T1 torpedoes, we'll go ahead and we'll hit the bottom one here. Oops. We'll hit the bottom one, and he'll begin warming them up. He should also start to warm up the other tubes as well, but warming up the torpedoes ensures that they don't fail. Alright, so let's go ahead and unpause here, and we'll see if we can move up a little bit more within sight range here, and we'll continue. So right now our submarine is within sight range. If we move up here, you can see there's the enemy way off in the distance. Now they can't see us because we are pretty well hidden unless they had sonar capability. Our sub remains pretty well hidden under the ocean like so. So we'll go ahead, we'll continue moving up here, and we'll see if we can outrun them. So basically you can see they're moving in this direction, which is going straight over to England. They're probably going to go around along this path here to a dock. So we're going to cut them off here by going maybe right like this, and then we'll shift right click into position, and this right here will be our course to fire. Actually, let's make that a little bit up higher. Okay, it's recommended to ensure that you have like a pretty wide distance before firing, like being up right alongside, but a little bit farther than their course, because this allows you to really calculate their speed as they're going and fire the torpedo accurately. So sweet. So now that we are in position, let's go ahead and see if we can make our calculations here. We'll go ahead and hit stop here, and we will see if we can hit us some enemies with the torpedoes. So in order to do that, we'll go ahead and scroll in on our target. This right here will be our first target. We can go ahead and click on open targeting list, and we can have one of our captains automatically target the enemy. Since Klaus is on the attack periscope, he's the best one to calculate these things, so we'll have him do this. But we'll take things a little bit further here. We'll actually manually calculate this ourselves, and it's really super easy to do. I'll go ahead and show you how to do it. In order to do it, all you do is click on your commander here, and we will go ahead and unpause it for a little bit, then pause again to allow him to target them. And then we'll click on this little eye right here, and this will show what he's doing. We'll click on manual mode, and you can see he's looking right at the enemy freighter that we targeted. So, and he's looking right above the water line. If it was really super stormy, you may notice there might be some waves. You can make this go higher or lower just by moving it. I'm going to leave it right about, I'm going to move it up a little bit higher to right about there. Okay, we'll go up even higher, all the way. Okay, and then let's go ahead and zoom in. So to zoom in, you click on this magnifying glass, and you can go in times 1.5, makes it a little closer. Let's go even closer than that, 1.6. Okay, and here is our enemy. So we will go ahead and change our view mode too to make it a little bit easier. To do that, you just click on this here, and you can click on kind of looks like a rectangle with water, which takes away the lens and makes it a lot easier to see. So now that we have a really good view of our enemy, let's go ahead and start making these manual calculations. So there's three things in this game that we need to calculate. We need to calculate the velocity, which is how fast they're going. We need to calculate the course, like which direction they're going, and we need to calculate the distance, like how far we are. If you unpause it and just let them automatically calculate it, they'll automatically calculate it, but it takes some time, so that's why we're going to do it manually. So in order to manually calculate it, you have these options here to calculate it. The first thing that we need to do is figure out what type of ship it is just by looking at it, and this will help classify how fast it goes and the how it would go in the water, or I'm not entirely for certain how the identification book really helps classify like the speed or whatnot, but it is needed in order to really make sure that the torpedo hits the target. But in order to do that, you just click on the identification book, and then you can see just an outline of the type of boat it is. So we just need to match this up with what it looks like. So this might be, I believe, an Explorer. So we'll see. So it's not a Bell because it's got these two back here. Let's go even further. Empire Tower. It's not a tower, but it does look like it could be an Empire Explorer because it has that extra back end here. Let's see if we can look even further. Doesn't seem like it could be a Liberty. So, well, actually, you know what? There's a ship right behind it. That could be an Explorer. This right here, though, only has 1, 2. It has the middle. So if we go back, I'm thinking that this right here is probably a Bell because it has 1, 2, and then in the middle it has the chimney, and then like a square rectangle looking vantage point in the front. Please forgive me about my ship names. I'm not the biggest ship expert, but all I know is that it looks like this. So we'll go ahead and click recognize here, and it's similar to an Empire Bell. So now we have the like a classification for the boat. Let's calculate its speed here, which would be our next thing to do. Chromometer tool. This right here will calculate speed. In order to do that, we just go to the very edge of the ship here, and just like so, and then we just hit start. Okay, and right now the game's paused. We are locked onto target, so if we hit spacebar, the game will start to go, and we will see what the speed of it is. So right now it's calculating speed by just going by time. As it goes through all the way till it gets to the very end here, we'll know its speed. So we'll wait just a little bit, and then we will hit stop when it hits the edge right about now, and then we'll hit set. It's moving at about 7 knots. The other ships might be moving a little bit faster. That right there is a freighter. That right there is going to be a big prize for us, but we'll worry about this ship for now. Okay, so now we need to calculate. We have its speed. It's moving at 7 knots. We need to calculate its course now. So to calculate its course, all you have to do is open up the chromometer, or I'm sorry, the course tool. And pretty much how this works is it's really super easy. Whichever direction it's facing, this arrow needs to go. So it's moving about, I'd say about 85 degrees, maybe 85 degrees. You can even look at your map and you can see it's kind of moving at like a slant like that. So probably even more than that, maybe about 90, more than 90. So we'll just do 90.6, why not? So 90.6, we'll hit set, and that automatically sets the course to 15.3 degrees. So now we just need to know the distance. And to find distance, all you have to do is position the scope here that we're looking through at the very edge of the water, like on the water line, like so. And then all we have to do to calculate distance is to use the statometer tool. And this right here, in order to calculate distance, we just press Q and E, and it creates a clone of what you're looking at. And to calculate distance, you just have to move that clone, that water line, to the very top where the masts are, like so. So get that just about right, and we'll hit set, and you can see they're at 3 kilometers. So to make sure, like to really see if they are at 3 kilometers, you can use a ruler here. We'll just check it. We'll go at where we're at. We'll move this over. So they're probably right about 2 kilometers. 3 would be, okay, so 3 would be even farther. So they're about 2 kilometers. You can use that to check. We'll see if we can do that one more time here, just to make sure. So statometer. just like that. Yeah, so 3 kilometers, that's set it to 3. So there we go. So now we have all of our manual calculations. And I know that took a little while for me to explain, but if you play this game fast, you'll be able to make these calculations really super quick, and then you can launch torpedoes at enemies. It's a lot longer to have your guys manually calculate it. It takes some time for them to do that, so that's why this right here is the best method. So now we'll go ahead and open up the launch torpedoes, and we will flood our tubes here. You can see the ones in red are already prepped. The ones that are in like a gray or blue, they aren't prepped, so they could be duds. These might not make it. So that's why it's recommended to prep your torpedoes with your mechanics. So we'll go ahead and we'll flood tube 1 and 2 here. And then you can see it gives us a little bit more customization here. We can change the speed of the torpedo, the depth, the dispersion. These are usually good to leave as default. Although if it's like a farther target, you can have it disperse more. That'll just make the torpedoes go out a little bit farther away from one another, just in case you might not be as accurate. You can make their speed go faster if you know they're going really super fast, if they're booking it, to make sure they hit. But changing these settings could change your course calculations, because you might not know if the speed would be fast enough for it to hit its target. They might be moving too fast. Your torpedo might be moving too fast. It could just go straight off. So sweet, now that we know all of our calculations, let's unpause the game here. And you can see they are filling up right now. And there you go. So now it says tube 2 flooded and tube 1 flooded. Let's go ahead and hit the fire button. And now it's firing. So now we'll gear over to this freighter here, and we'll see if we can take on this target. We'll go ahead and hold E to lock on, and we'll see if we can calculate this here. It is an American sub, so, oh, you know what? So this right here is a neutral, so this goes into another topic. So this right here, since we're not at war with America yet, this game plays by historic, we're playing as Germany, so we're not at war with America yet. So they are classified as a neutral freighter. Even though we're playing for Germany, they're probably carrying guns over to England. We can't sink them just yet, but that comes down the road. But if you ever see a freighter like this, then it would be worth a lot of money. So these right here are like gold mines. These smaller vessels are our target here. So we'll flip back over here. We'll see if we can get this guy here. We'll lock on to here. And that's a freighter as well. Let's go ahead and go into our identification book. And this right here is a Empire Explorer. Definitely an Empire Explorer. Okay, we will go to our statometer tool. Move this up here to the very top. Like so. Set 4 kilometers. That sounds about right. Let's go ahead and use our chromometer tool. And I'm guessing they're moving at like right around 7 knots too. We'll see here. Okay, and our tubes are going. They just shot off the torpedoes. They're heading straight to our target. So let this go here. You could also, what I would recommend doing is I would try to calculate these all before you fire, because that'll give you the most accurate result. So we'll set that. So now we know its distance, we know its speed, its course is about, whoops, we'll go in the course tool. It's going right about, same as the other one. Let's see if we scroll out. It's going right about like that. So the course is like a little bit above 90.5. Why not? We'll hit set 100%. Okay, let's flood both of our tubes. Unpause. And fire. just like that, guys. So it looks like the torpedoes are going. You can go into the map and you can actually see here where they're at, how they're going, so you can see in the water where the torpedoes are going. Okay, we will move up more just in case we miss here. So let's go ahead and go to forwards 3 here. Speed this up a little bit more here. Alright, so we might miss on this one. We'll see here. We might actually hit the American sub. Oh, so they just missed. Darn. Oh, but it looks like we might get a hit here at the end, at the edge. Boom! So that was a dud. Ah, darn. So let's see if we can get back into position to fire some more. That's completely fine. If we miscalculate these, we can fire some more. Okay. So these ships are moving pretty quickly. We'll have our guy go back onto the electric engines here. Move a little bit quicker. Flank speed. Move just like so, and then stop. Alright. Okay, let's have Klaus get on that. And we'll move our tax periscope up further. Okay. We'll see if we can get these guys here. I think this right here should be a good shot. Alright. So we'll go to the water line here. And let's lock onto this. Let's go ahead and calculate its range here. Set. This is at 2 kilometers. I think it's a little bit closer than 2 kilometers. Let's just make sure here. Yeah, it's like 1 kilometer. So let's try that once more just to make sure. Okay. So about one kilometer, yeah. Okay, 7 knots. I believe that's how fast it was going. So we'll leave it at that. Course, it's going about 90 here. Probably a little bit less than that. So we'll just make it go the direction it's facing, 87. We'll leave it at that. 1 kilometer. Let's go ahead and get a torpedo in here, and we'll see if we can get a shot in. So let's go ahead and flood and fire. Alright. Boom! Hit. So you guys can see we hit it. Serious damage. We'll see if that ship goes down. And then of course we need to be loading some more torpedoes in here. Not sure as to why. Our one mechanic's not working right now. We might actually be out of torpedoes. Okay, never mind. We got some more. So let's go ahead and move some more torpedoes into the launchers here. Okay, so they're loading it in. Then if we go to our camera here, you can see that we hit the enemy. Alright. And that ship is sinking. So excellent news. So we were able to sink a ship here. It looks like it's going down. we're loading in some more torpedoes. But that's pretty much how manual calculations go. Sometimes you just have to make sure you get that calculation correct, especially if you're shooting enemies very far away. But after you shoot them, the enemies will start moving in a kind of like a zigzag pattern to where they're going. And then you saw the report that the enemy ship was sunk. So alright, so that pretty much covers it. Thank you guys for watching. In the next tutorial, we'll see if we can do some more advanced missions. We'll go from there. Alright, peace.